Hello, my friends. I am Evelyn Wallace. This beautiful beast is Maestro. And we are here today to not only rename our story hour, because in the same way that the title guided meditation, quote fingers and actual quotation marks, in the same way that we evolved out of that term, story hour isn't quite right either. I went to dinner at a friend's house recently. Village. We feed each other. We take care of each other. We enjoy each other. We nourish each other. And we hadn't seen each other for a while, and we were sort of catching up. And within, the first 5 minutes, said, "Man, Evelyn, I forgot how little you were what did he say? I forgot, like, how uninterested you were in small talk. How little interest you have in small talk." And he's right. Small talk doesn't feel like the best way to spend my precious breaths. Because what I know is how precious being alive is. You can know it too. You just have to choose to choose. In fact, that's what I'd like to talk about today, is how the miracle of life is not on limits to be threatened. As far as honorable spiritual law. And, man's law. It's not okay to kill each other, right? It's against the law. I refrained from talking about the school shootings in Florida. But I'm not going to refrain from joining the chorus of voices after the shooting of Stephon Clark in Sacramento. Unarmed black man in his own or his grandmother's backyard. And I understand I understand that every story has many narratives. I understand. Every conversation should include some dissent, or at least contemplation of dissent. What does this look like from the other side? And treating dissent with dignity is the mark of a good leader. So I understand that within this narrative, that there was this young man, father of 2, 22-year-old kid with children it seems absurd to have to explain why that's tragic. And yes, I know that death comes in unexpected ways, in unexpected times. Marshall's death was unexpected in that he was healthy and then the next day he had cancer. But that was not the perpetrator in Marshall's case was not a free acting agent of humanity. It was a cancer cell. It wasn't a human ending Marshall's life. It was a human ending Stephon Clark's life. Ending. And yes, you can, here's the dissent, of course, you can, of course, we can talk about what's really dead? What does death really mean? No one's ever really dead, etc., etc. And I'm happy to have that conversation another day. But let's acknowledge today that human body death is real. Human body death is permanent. And that Stephon Clark's family will never have his body again. And I understand that police officers don't have an easy job. I understand that in chase scenarios, you're on alert, you don't know what's around the corner. I understand that voice, I guess that's not dissent, but the voice of the other angle, the other camera angle. I understand that it's not as black and white as just walking up to a person and shooting an unarmed person for no reason. Or what looks like no reason. And yet, let's agree that even given the circumstance of those heightened emotions and instincts, let's agree that something ain't right if black man upon black man upon black man is being treated as if they are a criminal just for existing. Being treated as if they are a threat to the lives of the police officers who then feel entitled to defend their lives. Let's agree that there's a problem if it is such a constant sense within the police force, the American police force. Let's agree that it's a problem in a way that's not a problem for young white men. Do young white men have problems? Yes. Are there injustices perpetrated upon all people? Yes. Do all lives matter? Yes! Yes, of course. Of course. But Black Lives Matter. What kind of person are you to disagree with that statement? Black Lives Matter because because all human lives fit in the category of equally valuable. None of our lives deserve to be taken by another. Self-defense, okay. If someone really is coming at you, and I get it, there's a bunch of gray areas, but can we just agree that in general, other than very rare circumstances of real self-defense, that it is not okay, especially not okay, for the people in power who are uniformed with power, whose presence means you have to speak to them differently. I'm an obedient white girl from rural Oregon. My heart thumps when the cops approach me, and I never think, are they going to end my life? That's privilege, right? That's privilege to never fear for my physical safety. I might fear for my emotional safety if I'm being questioned by the cops because Maestro and I are out dancing and I have to explain, no, we're not drunk. We just choose joy, even if that makes other people uncomfortable. That conversation with the cops is philosophically, energetically expensive for me. but it is not, I don't have to pay energetically with my life. And I know enough educated, open-minded, kind-hearted, white-skinned people who bristle at the term Black Lives Matter. Well, all lives matter. Yes, correct. That's the implication. That's what we should all know already. We don't need a bumper sticker to say all lives matter. That's just a given. If you don't know that, you haven't earned your way into this human conversation. Of course, all lives matter. And can we agree in saying that all lives matter, that Black lives are included? That human lives that happen to be wrapped in darker pigmented skin are equally worthy of not being ended? Can we just agree? I don't know what it's like to be Black. I do not claim to feel that pain in the same degree. This is not I'm not trying to win the competition of who is hurting more. It was the same with Marshall's death. My emotional response was never an attempt to supplant the pain of the mourners who were closer to him in his family unit. My empathetic pain at the shooting of Stephon Clark and all of the other unarmed Black men whose names I don't remember. I'm sorry, that's me. That's me. I'm just not good at names and places. My empathy is the same as it is for all unnecessary human suffering, which is, I don't want that happening to my baby. I don't want that happening to me. It's not okay to treat people in a different way than you want it to be reflected back at you. And when I see that happening in the world around me, when I see these divisions of like us and them, and we're good and they're bad, or we're safe and they're dangerous, or we're valuable and they're okay to kill. When I see those divisions, especially when it's so close to home, because I know they're happening all around the world all the time, when I see them happening, I feel in my heart, because I know that my heart is anchored into the same deep waters as all hearts. We beat with the same blood. Flesh of my flesh. And when I see us hurting us, I feel all the more compelled to continue sharing this message. Because every new person, even if it's one person who shifts out of an old framework of what's important and what's not important, what's okay and what's not okay, and starts to rethink how different life can be, how fulfilling, how joyful, how safe life can be when we acknowledge this interconnected web that we are all part of. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for the unnecessary suffering in the world. And right now, I am especially sorry for Stefan Clark and your family and your village. I know, Sacramento City. I say village like the web, you know, connectedness. I'm sorry. And I will do what I can with every breath to continue to share this message of simple love. That's what I can do. I think I never got around to saying the new name of this little web series. It's gonna be Big Talk with Evelyn Wallace. I love you all. You are all worthy of love. You are all worthy of safety. And I guess we just take one breath at a time and hope that with each breath, we're making waves that ripple in the right direction. Right meaning connected, whole, loving, healthy, safe, compassionate, empathetic, respectful,